So why do we drive and buy sports cars? It's because we want to feel something. And we don't want to feel back pain or feel it in our wallets. We want to feel the excitement, the kick of the engine. And Honda understands that's what it's all about. And that's why feeling is what the Honda Prelude is supposed to do best. This is Ash Mahina from Zigwheels.Ph, and here's our first look of the 2026 Honda Prelude. So yeah, while developing this car, Honda's idea was this was the go-between a Civic RS and the full Civic Type R. But of course, you gotta give it its own look. So here, this design is inspired by a glider, and the idea is to get as low and wide as possible. Up front, it's the twin DRLs that give it a sense of scale, horizontally of course, and the blue accents that you see around the car start off here, followed by the Brembo calipers and more blue striping here in the back. So as you can see here, 19-inch wheels with mentioned Brembos, really nice calipers there. And of course, your coupe design. If it looks a little long here in the back, that's actually because the Prelude is a 2+2 and it packs a tiny pair of seats here in the rear. We'll check those out later on. But overall though, it's got that nice low but not too low silhouette because this is supposed to be a daily drivable car, and part of that is the 137mm of ground clearance. So this is Honda's first coupe in a while, and it looks the part. Coming up here, you see it in the parking lot from far away, and you really think, oh, there's someone important in there. And it does that in a way without being over the top or being too boisterous, like if you have a Type R or a modified Civic. So if you want to look sporty and mature at the same time, this is the car for you. So aside from looking good, Honda also wants this to be your everyday sports car, and part of what makes that possible is actually by having a nice big hatch in the back. So first of all, you have your wide light bar here. Again, this gives it the sense of scale horizontally. On or off, it'll look wide because of that element. And Prelude badging, really nice to see. Open up the hatch. And oh, Honda even left two full-size golf bags in here. So you can really see that you can dump a lot of stuff in there. It's not compromised for your chores or daily driving needs. Well, except if you need to bring 4 people around, of course. And they said you can even fit a whole bike in here. Take the front wheel off. About the only thing I would miss here from a normal sports car is there's no visible exhaust, no exhaust tips to mod. But being a hybrid, maybe that's okay. What about the inside though? Let's check it out. And now we are behind the wheel of the Honda Prelude. During our test drive section, we couldn't get the camera in the car, so I'll tell you about it here. But first, a bit about the interior. Yes, it does have manual seats, so let's get that out of the way. But they are comfy, and in a neat touch, the driver's seat is supposedly more bolstered and more aggressive than the passenger seat, so it's easier for your passengers to get in and out of the car. In other words, girlfriend approved. You got, of course, your sporty accents here, the blue stitching, your Prelude badge on the dash, your center marker for your steering wheel, and the other stuff is classic Honda. So like stuff here wouldn't look out of place in a Civic or say a CR-V with this touch transmission, of course. But the upside of that is it's as comfy as either of those two cars, which again, this is what the Prelude is all about. You get your sports car looks, your performance, your drama, but without all the sports car hardships in life. As mentioned, we do have your tiny seats in the back. I won't even try to fit myself in there. I'm pretty sure I won't, but it's nice to have somewhere to throw your bags, like your handbags, your backpack. If you do have someone in the passenger seat, it beats having to go all the way back to the hatch. And that's just enough storage to get away with it. Behind the wheel are paddle shifters to control your brake regen. And the Prelude does have more steps to it than the normal system, giving you more control over how you want to cruise or not cruise based on your use of the paddles, and almost giving you one pedal driving when you max it out. And that does come with decent fuel economy. If you can see here, that number is after the media beating on this car all day, going flat out, and to have something higher than like 5 kml, already very impressive. Now, let's get to the main part of what makes the Prelude the Prelude. It's actually the transmission. And while it does have the Civic engine underneath, it does have something from the Type R underneath as well, which is suspension. And they say they did it because at the start, like, they wanted to give the Prelude a wide design, and then they found out putting it on the Civic suspension wasn't wide enough for the car itself. So yeah, you get the Type R suspension as well. And surprisingly, it's you don't really feel it in the normal settings. It definitely does not feel as rough as the Type R, in comfort mode at least. So yeah, daily drivable. So normal driving, it's basically the Honda Civic drivetrain from the eHEV RS. So you have an IC engine powering your electric motors, which spin the wheels, and it doesn't make any particularly cool horsepower numbers or torque figures. It's very basic. On paper, unexciting. But what they did is they gave you the Sport Plus button or the S Plus button, and it basically transforms the Prelude into a normal car you can drive every day, into a car that feels like a sports car. So you get in, put it in Sports Plus. These turn into your paddle shifters for the gears, and every time you hit a gear, like pow, pow, like that, the car will react, the engine power will dip and then climb up again to simulate an upshift or a downshift. The sound changes, the tachometer blips. On the downshift, it's especially satisfying the way it downshifts and goes psh, psh, like a normal sports car. And again, that's what you're here for. It's super convincing. Our driving instructor during the briefing said, like, he wouldn't believe this wasn't actually a DCT. Because like, no way this is DCT. It's like, it's too real. But yeah, it's actually all fake, but fake in the best way possible. So what Honda did here, and I think this is the first time we've experienced something like this, is you get a car you can drive every day with hybrid ease of use, hybrid fuel economy. And even though it's like a coupe form factor, it's really easy to get in and out. Everything makes sense. The roof is not too low, all of that. But at the push of a button, you can turn it into something you want to drive for fun. Suddenly you want to mash the throttle because the engine sound is there, and the sensation, even the kick of the car like that when you hit the shifters, it's all there solely thanks to the S Plus button. And that's the most convincing part about this car, because at the start you might think this is it, sports cars are dead, because the Prelude is the first of the Japanese legendary names to come back as a hybrid. So that's kind of a sign of the times, right? Like, well, nah, it's over. The Prelude came back as a hybrid. Maybe the Type R will come back as a hybrid, and the Supra and the GTR and whatnot, and we can't have nice things anymore. But as Honda showed here, you can actually have nice things without all that stuff that we really wouldn't want to live with in a sports car every day, like having to deal with, like, you know, bad fuel economy and the tiring experience when you just want to get home after a long day and you don't really want your suspension kicking you in the balls every time you do the downshift or upshift. And it's really, based on this short drive, it really is the best of both worlds, and the feeling of like all the good feelings without any of the bad ones. But we'll see if it does manage to keep up that impression over a long drive or over a longer period of time, like actual city commute driving. We'll see if it can really do the best of both worlds. But as a first impression, as a first look, I think they did a really good job. So as you mentioned, the Prelude is all about feeling good without the guilt. After our quick test drive here, there's zero of that fatigue you'd associate with a normal sports car. The feeling that you got out from something low, the feeling of the road beating you up as you drive, or the feeling of driving something with too heavy steering, too heavy a clutch. Here, you really do get the best of both worlds. Is the true sporty feeling that the Honda Prelude brings enough to justify that price? We'll need a longer test drive to say for sure, but let us know what you think down in the comments below. Once again, Ash Mahina for Zigwheels.Ph. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.